Assalamu alaikum students. This is your teacher Rizwan Pandith. Today our topic is digestive system of man. Digestive system of man consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands. The alimentary canal is a long tube of varying diameter. When the food passes through the alimentary canal, it is subjected to various mechanical and chemical processes by which the complex food substances are converted to simpler and absorbable ones. The process are collectively termed as digestion. आज हम डिस्कस करते हैं digestive system of man. Digestive system of man, it consists of two main components: alimentary canal and digestive glands. The various parts of alimentary canal, the various parts of alimentary canal are mouth, or we can say buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. This mouth, mouth is the opening of alimentary canal for the intake of food. It is guarded by two soft movable lips and opens into a chamber or cavity called buccal cavity. This is mouth and it leads to buccal cavity. This buccal cavity, the cavity to which mouth opens, is known as buccal cavity. It is bordered by teeth on all the sides except for its posterior side. Teeth are arranged in a parabolic manner over each jaw. In a mature individual, there will be totally 32 teeth which are at the front and are used for biting purposes. These are termed as incisors. The teeth that are behind are useful for tearing purposes. These are termed as canines. The, then there are premolars and molars which are used for grinding and crushing purposes. Out of the 32 teeth, 8 are incisors, 4 are canines, 8 are premolars, and remaining 12 are molars. Incisors are situated at the front side of mouth, two each on each side of each jaw, followed by canine, one on each side of each jaw. These there are these are followed successively by premolars, two on each side of each jaw, and the molars, three on each side of each jaw. So we can say there are total 32 teeth in an adult. These are called permanent teeth. The last molar is known as wisdom tooth because it erupts very late when the person has acquired wisdom. Tongue performs several functions. It moves to direct the food towards teeth for mastication. Its movement helps to mix the saliva with the food. Tongue has also taste buds. In mouth, there are two main parts. One is teeth. In buccal cavity, we can say there are two main parts. One is teeth, and the next is tongue. Teeth performs different functions for cutting, tearing, or we can say this grinding and crushing, or we can say for chewing purposes. And tongue, and this tongue, it its movement helps the mix the saliva with the food. Tongue has also taste buds. There is also one gland present in the buccal cavity which is called salivary gland. There are three pairs of salivary gland. Salivary gland. Three pairs of salivary gland. These are salivary gland. One pair is parotid gland. Next is submaxillary gland, and the next is sublingual gland. These are known from their location as parotid, sublingual, and submaxillary. Parotids are situated on each one each on either side of temporal region. Sublingual, this is sublingual gland, are situated one on each side below the tongue, and two members of submaxillary are situated below the ear on each side of the upper jaw. Glands themselves, being situated away from the mouth cavity, produce their secretions collectively termed saliva, which is brought to the mouth cavity or buccal cavity through their ducts. Then there is a next part which is called pharynx, This is pharynx part. It is a fairly wide region behind the buccal cavity. Over its dorsal side, it is connected to the nasal cavity. Thus, pharynx serves as common passage for food and air that is taken inside. Next part is esophagus, or we can say this is food pipe. Esophagus is a short muscular tube that lies between pharynx and the stomach. Esophagus is a region for conduction of the food and the food is not subjected to any process of digestion here. When the food in the form of bowls enters the uh, esophagus or food pipe, the walls of esophagus behind the bolus contracts, and at the same time the region ahead of the bolus dilates a little. This helps to moment the food downwards. This is accompanied by a wave of contraction movement along the length of esophagus to drive the food finally into the next region, that is stomach. This wave of contraction is termed as peristalsis or peristaltic moment. Next region is next part of this alimentary canal is stomach. This is stomach. Stomach is a small C-shaped or J-shaped muscular sac present on the left side of abdomen. The stomach serves four main functions: storage of food, mechanical crunching of food, number third, partial digestion. Three types of glands which secrete HCl, hydrochloric acid, protein digesting enzyme pepsin, and mucus act upon here. All these secretions are collectively called gastric juice. The stomach regulates it regulates the flow of food into the small intestine. From this stomach, the food enters into next part, which is called small intestine. It has three parts. This stomach, it is funding part, cardiac part, and pyloric part. This part leads to small intestine. The small intestine is the longest part of alimentary canal. It is a narrow, wide tube which lies coiled in the abdomen. The small intestine is divided into three main parts. Duodenum. First part is duodenum. It is a U-shaped structure that starts after the pyloric end. Of the stomach. The duodenum receives the bile juice. Bile juice. Bile juice. This bile is secreted by the liver and is carried to the and is carried by the bile duct and is stored in the gallbladder until needed in the abdomen. The pancreatic juice is the pancreas. This is pancreas. It secretes pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice is one more important juice received by the duodenum. Next is jejunum. It is upper. It is upper part. It is the upper part of small intestine. Next is ileum. It is the lower part of Ileum, it is the lower part of small intestine. Internally, the walls of small intestine is raised into numerous projections called the villi. The villi greatly increases the absorbed surface area of the inner lining of the intestine. Next region is next part is some large intestine. The large intestine is short but broader. The large intestine is short but broader than the small intestine. The small intestine is followed by large intestine, which consists of three main parts. Cecum. The cecum is short, sac-like structure present between the ileum and colon. It bears a short worm-like projection called appendix. Next is colon. It is greater part of large intestine. It gives succulate appearance due to series of constructions. Next is rectum. It is the last part of this rectum. It is the last part of large intestine where undigested food is collected as feces. The rectal wall mainly that absorbs absorbs water from the undigested food. The rectum leads to the anus. The fecal matter. This anus. The fecal matter is ingested through the anus. This is all about the uh, alimentary canal of man, or we can say digestive system of man. It contains this uh, from mouth up to anus. Several parts: mouth, yeah, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. These are the main parts of this uh, alimentary canal of man, and it contains also some associated glands. Number one is this salivary gland. It is found in the mouth, and next is gastric gland. Gastric gland is found in the stomach. Pancreas below the this stomach, and liver secretes this, we can say, this bile juice and collected in the gallbladder. This is gallbladder. And mm, intestinal gland which secretes many enzymes. This is all about the digestive system of man. Thank you. Goodbye.